Seriously Sinister discusses true petty crimes that may be disturbing to some.
Or it could be easy listening to all of you psychopaths out there.
Names and places have been changed to protect the hosts legally.
Listener discretion is not advised. Seriously Sinister.
Welcome to Seriously Sinister, the next big TikTok dance fad. This is Trevin.
And I'm Amanda. We could only hope, right?
We could only hope. I don't know what that dance would be like. Maybe it'd be like a two-person dance where they like kind of shimmy back and forth and then they both turn the same direction at the same time and one person mimics stabbing them in the back or something.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool.
Oh
Somebody
God.
make that and get big off of our name.
Please. Please and thank you. Goodbye.
Yes.
What's your dreadful dilemma this week, Trevin?
All right, so continuation from last week. It happened. I got the teeth pulled, but with a twist.
Oh my God.
I went in there and, I wondered if this was going to come back and bite me or not. And Emily was like, it's probably best to ask, per permission instead of, ask for permission instead of, what is it?
I don't know where you're going with this.
It's better to ask for permission. No, it's better to ask for permission than ask for forgiveness.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Jeez. Anyway, so she said to do that, which I didn't do. And so I went in there and they asked like, oh, have you had COVID symptoms within the last blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of had it.
Yeah, kind of very recently. And so they didn't say anything. I went in there and right when they were getting ready to do the surgery, my doctor kind of looked at me with his hands behind his back. And he's like, oh, hey, so you recently had COVID, huh? And I was like, yeah. And he said, well, the rules are if you had COVID within the last 4 weeks, you can't do anesthesia. So,
holy shit. So they waited to tell you this till you're already in the chair?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, oh no. But the funny thing was, as you know, my dilemma last week, I was just really afraid of being put to sleep.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe this is a sign that I just need to bite my lip and give it hell.
Oh my God.
He said, we can reschedule you and we can really work with you on the rescheduling. And I said, nah, I don't want to. I already got this time off. Everything works pretty fit. I don't want to wait till later when we're trying to do something. And I thought, let's just do this.
Oh my God.
My first thing, he was like, okay, we can do that. And I stopped him. I was like, but wait, I want my money refunded for that anesthesia.
Hell yeah. Wasn't it an extra $100?
Yeah, I got refunded $80.
Oh, okay. Still counts.
Yeah, still counts. So, oh my God, I was immediately regretting the decision because the size of this needle.
Oh God.
Like he had to manhandle this with two hands, like a shotgun going into my mouth. And those numbing shots went so deep. I swear I could feel it in the bottom part of my jaw, just going all the way through.
Ooh.
And it hurt.
Yeah, I'd say.
And I just kept because I had to do all 4 wisdom teeth. And
so they had to do top and bottom like that.
uh-huh.
So was it one of those things that no matter how hard you try, tears just fell out anyway?
Yep.
Yeah. It hits a nerve or something and you're just like, ah.
Yeah, and I just had tears pouring out of my eyes, and the doctor was like, tears of joy, man, you got this, tears of joy.
What?
Yeah,
He said that to you?
Yeah, he was really fun. I actually really liked him.
Oh my God.
Got that taken care of, and then he had to let it marinate for a while, is what he said, because it had to let the numbing kick in.
Oh my
And
God.
then they came in, and on both of the bottom ones, they didn't have it numbed enough. So at one point, he had to run this weird drill, and I could feel it shooting through my jaw and up into my ear. It was a weird pain. So then he had to give me more numbing. But it was such a strange feeling to feel this guy, one, pushing my lips and my cheek down to give himself more space to work, but then feeling the tug of my face of him pulling. And through my head, you could just hear bone breaking.
Oh, Trevin!
I was like, is this guy just destroying my teeth, and I think he was. I think they were breaking.
Yeah, I think sometimes they do have to break the wisdom teeth apart and then they have to pull them out like piece by piece. Ew, God. I mean, I was asleep for mine. Apparently, my mom was awake for hers, but she said she heard all the crazy sound effects and everything too. So I was wondering if you felt that.
Yeah, it was such a weird feeling. And
Did he have to like straddle you, like climb on top of you and like yank it out?
no, I went in wearing a hoodie, and I like had my hands in the hoodie, and my whole body was just stiff the whole time. Honestly, by the time I was done, my shoulders hurt so bad because I was just in this very tense position the entire time.
Ooh.
And he did say that one of my teeth, he looked at the nurse and was like, "That's a really big tooth." So
Did you like keep the teeth? Did you?
no,
Did he
I didn't
show them
ask.
to you?
I wanted to ask, but
Dude, you should have.
I was so worn and spent by the end of it. I was just like, just let me go home.
Let me get out of here.
But I'm going to start bringing that up in parties now to be really cool and be like, did you know I had one really big tooth?
One of my wisdom teeth was so fucking big.
Yeah. People are going to talk about this for years. But so for the rest of the day, I had these gauze in. I sounded like Sylvester the cat. I was like, fuck a tear. It didn't really hurt too much the next day, and then the pain started kicking in. And
Yeah.
the weird thing is, my wisdom teeth were all kind of forcing forward, so it was crowding my teeth. After you have all 4 wisdom teeth, and I've read this, that it's actually common, my second to front tooth, I guess,
Okay.
it's like numb and has a weird feeling to it. And if I pull my jaw forward, it kind of hurts. Like it feels like, it's almost like I bit into like ice cream and it's really cold on that tooth.
Weird.
And-
What's that about?
I guess because my mouth has gone through a lot of trauma here.
Yeah.
But losing those 4 bookended teeth has kind of let all of my teeth kind of adjust a little bit.
Oh,
And so
okay.
it is common for it to affect other teeth for a little while. So I
That
have
makes
just got some
sense.
weird tooth pain on teeth that weren't even part of the whole thing.
Weird.
But some stitches have already come out. Eating has gotten a little bit easier, but
Are you still eating soft foods right now?
for the most, yeah, I haven't ate anything hard yet. And even the first day, they were like, "Oh, you can have soft foods." I'm like, "Hell no, I can't." Like I just
Yeah.
drank everything because anytime I did eat something that needed chewing, I wouldn't let it come back to these back teeth. I was like,
Yeah.
my front
yeah.
teeth, the teeth that aren't made for doing that kind
like
of
a
chewing.
little rabbit.
But I lost like 3 pounds just after the first couple days with the COVID and teeth pulling diet. I gotta say, nothing works quicker.
Wow. 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 Well, I am so sorry that you had to experience that, but also you didn't have to worry about dying by being put under. So that's
I
a plus.
avoided it. I didn't have to face that fear.
Oh my God, Trevin. Wow. Wow. You are a brave soul. Well, I also have a dreadful dilemma. I know I complain about my cat a lot on here. Okay. My cat, Arlo. And I don't know if I've even briefly mentioned this on here. Trevin, I don't think we have because I asked him beforehand.
I don't think so.
But it definitely hasn't been a full on dreadful dilemma. So, my cat, as I've kind of talked about before, you know, we let him go inside and outside, and who knows what kind of shenanigans this cat gets up to.
I bet a
because-
lot. He's a wild guy.
Oh, he is wild. And lately he's been coming home with like mud all over his face. I'm like, where were you?
Mud on his face?
Yeah.
He's a big disgrace.
Right. And then he starts chanting, we will rock you. It's really weird. But anyway, so I have now had 3 birds brought into my
Oh.
home by Arlo.
I only heard about the one.
All 3 of them are different instances. So the very first time it happened, I was home alone and I saw Arlo running away from me. I'm like, what is this dude getting up to? And I went upstairs into our living room and I heard this flapping and I was like, okay, what was that? Then I see this tiny, adorable little bird just like flapping around like crazy trying to get out of our house. So immediately I called my dad and was like, there's a bird in here. What do I do? He's like, okay, you can get a blanket and like make it like a really lightweight blanket so you don't hurt the bird. Drape it over it and like shoo it outside. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I was terrified. But eventually I did it. I got the courage up.
Oh, good job.
And I like scooped him up like a little blanket net and just kind of scooted him outside, and the bird was fine. So the second time a bird got into my house, I was in the basement, and Arlo uses our dog door that's down there. And he comes in, and this time Lila and Jordan were both home. Thank God I didn't have to do this one alone. And I see a bird in Arlo's mouth, and he's running upstairs with it. So I just assume it's dead, because it wasn't moving or anything. And I was like, Jordan, he's got a dead bird. He's coming upstairs towards you. And so Lila and I ran upstairs after him, and we corner him, and he lets the bird go, and it's fully alive and functioning. And it's in our bedroom just flying around like crazy, and it's hiding under our bed. We had to move our mattress. Then eventually we just like opened up one of our bedroom windows, and Lila and I held up a blanket to make it stop running into a wall. And then Jordan held up another blanket, and we just kind of guided it outside, and it flew away, and it was fine. And so the third one, it's a little more tragic. And Trevin, I have no idea how long this dead bird has been in my house. Oh my God. So I was cleaning up our basement because we're going to rearrange some things and make like a cool little castle fort for Lila downstairs. And I'm picking up all of her coloring books, la-di-da-di-da. And I lift up one of them, and in between two coloring books is this flat, dead-ass bird. And I was just like, ah! And like let out a little shriek, and then I was like, collect yourself, you got this. Honestly, I think I was more afraid of the dead bird than the live birds. I don't know why, but I had to build up the courage to like lift up that coloring book and like just throw it all away. But that one was dead, and like I said, who knows? It could have been in there forever.
Did it stink?
The thing is, and the reason why I think it's been in there a long time, is that there was a really weird smell like months ago down there. And I was like, what is that? And I cleaned our carpet, and I cleaned all of Lila's toys. I didn't check underneath the dang coloring books, apparently. And I did see some feathers, and I was like, what the hell is this? So it's probably been in there for a while because it didn't even smell anymore.
I've heard those stories of cats bringing snakes in the houses and stuff.
God.
I'd have to throw the whole house out.
Yeah, luckily it's just been very tiny, tiny birds. But he was hunting a squirrel the other day, and I was like, this dude, he's not even that big.
He's not.
So,
but he's fast.
He's something, that's for dang sure. So that is dreadful, dreadful, dreadful. But you know what isn't dreadful, Trevin?
I don't know what is.
So when this episode comes out, it's going to be the week before your birthday.
OMG.
Do you have any plans this year at all?
Oh, hell no. I've just been trying to get COVID out my body and teeth out my body. Like, I just want to live. That's all I'm looking forward to doing.
Oh my God. How old are you turning again?
I'll be 32.
32. I'm going to be 31 this year. Ooh, God. That just sounds wrong.
Yeah, but I think in a lot of ways, in our new matured states, like I think we're cooler, but also less cool, but also still really cool, you know? I don't know if that really translates well in the spoken word, but I do think that my younger self would be like, what a loser. But then I also think my younger self would say,
but I'm also proud of you.
You really did it. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I could not relate more. Like, no. I think that my wild young self would have been like, what? Your idea of a wild night is like jamming to Encanto and making a fort, you know? Like, what? Like with your kid? But also, I feel like my younger self would be like, you know what? You're not doing too bad, though.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a balance, but yes. But because it is your birthday fast approaching, I thought it was the perfect time that we should dive into my Christmas gift to you, and we do a couple Trevin Mad Libs for our listeners.
Hey, let's do some Mad Libs.
I will let you choose what story you want. Okay. Do you want Trevin the man? We probably shouldn't do Trevin and Emily a love story.
No.
She's not here to enjoy it. Boots, Freddie, and Harvey. Trevin writes a new song. The Horrors of Trevin.
Let's do Trevin Writes a New Song.
Okay, let's do it. Oh my God, you're going to have to remind me what an adverb is again. Okay, verb.
Hump.
Beautiful. Exclamation.
Great horny toads.
A number.
69.
You are such a middle schooler. Adjective.
Squatty.
Okay. Verb.
Screw. I mean, like with tools, of course.
Okay. Plural noun.
Women's. I want it to be said incorrectly on purpose. Women's.
Okay. And another adjective, and then you're done.
Harmonious.
Okay. Okay. Are you ready for the story? Trevin Writes a New Song.
I'm ready.
The process of music making is a task that Trevin takes very clumsily. First, he has to hump up his vocal cords by yelling out, "Great horny toads!" 69 times in a row. Then he takes a squatty breath in and begins to write. His favorite songs are about teeth and rocks, so he usually starts with that. Now for the melody. Trevin plays his piano highly and begins to screw uncontrollably. Then he belts out his new lyrics like an emotional sheep and envisions his future as a slow singer. He titles his new song "Women's Are Harmonious," and his masterpiece is complete.
That's actually pretty close to the way it actually goes. And "Women's Are Harmonious" does sound like something I would write.
That was a beautiful time. Oh my God. All right. Your turn. Oh my God. You are an absurd person.
Thank you. So, what story would you like to do?
Oh God. I feel like I should do The Horrors of Trevin.
Okay, that's a fun idea.
Yeah, I think so.
Adjective.
Oh God. Drunken.
Okay. Verb ending in ing.
Pooping.
Hell yeah.
I have to go there.
Regular noun.
Shopping cart. I don't know.
Verb ending in ed.
Oh. Sharded.
Now you're getting it.
Sorry, Mabel.
Verb.
Bitch slap. Can that be?
It can be.
Okay.
Adjective.
Gassy.
Typical pregnant woman. Noun.
Toilet.
Gassy toilet. Okay. I will be reading The Horrors of Trevin.
Okay.
When you look at Trevin, you think he appears as a drunken guy. But beneath the surface, there is darkness pooping. Trevin loves scary movies like Grumpy Kitties and The Shopping Cart That Sharded. These dark films make the average person bitch slap in the middle of Wonderland. But not Trevin. His heart is gassy as a toilet. Seeing belly buttons being eaten by grasshoppers on screen is Trevin's idea of an immature date night. So next time you look at Trevin sleazily, think again. Because the mind of Trevin is a hairy place to be.
Oh my God. That was beautiful.
I'd say that worked out great.
Pure poetry. Oh my goodness. Well, happy early birthday, Trevin.
Thank you.
I just have way too much fun with Mad Libs. Apparently, I'm 7 years old.
Hey, I really like them too, so I'm glad I could bring them back into your life.
Oh my god, they're so fun. Oh god, I think I pulled a freaking muscle. Okay. So I am going first this week with stories.
Whoop whoop, play them stories.
So this week, and I kind of told you about this already, Trevin, but this week is going to be a unique twist on telling a news story, but from my own personal perspective, if that makes sense.
I'm excited. A very conceptual idea.
Yes. So I really don't want to get into it too much. I just kind of want to let it flow. So here we go. Beauty is only skin deep. It's what's on the inside that matters. We've all had our mothers tell us this uplifting quote as we are going through our ugly phases in life. But is this quote actually true? Throughout my life, I have observed a multitude of instances where it appears as though an attractive person gets away with doing something bad just because of their looks. Gorgeous women can bat their eyes to get out of a speeding ticket.
Just look out for kids if you decide to speed past this school again.
Hunky characters like Gaston from Beauty and the Beast can act like douches with zero consequences. And don't even get me started about serial killers like Ted Bundy and his groupies who swooned over him.
Murder me with your love, Teddy.
These examples really make me question that phrase that built me back up when I had braces and a flat chest. I mean, sure, those words did give me confidence that I carried throughout life. But was it all one big and hideous lie? I needed to know more and was desperate for answers. Which brings me to my story that I'll tell you now, and the wanted fugitive that opened my eyes to the ugly truth. I was up all night on my computer, seeking out the answers about the importance of a person's appearance. I was Googling like a madwoman, typing frantically into the search bar. I looked up questions like, why are hot people so easily trusted? I was taken down quite the internet rabbit hole, from makeup tutorials on how to become fake beautiful, to mom bloggers teaching me how to raise the most adorable children in my neighborhood.
Don't be afraid to tell them when they look bad.
I was overwhelmed, and all of the information was making my head spin. That is when I realized I had stumbled upon a UK police station's Facebook page. I began to scroll through the posts of wanted criminals when my fingers froze on my mouse pad. There, illuminated right in front of my face, was a mugshot of a stunningly handsome man. He had hair that swooped to the side like a graceful ocean wave. His eyes were an alluring steel blue color that almost said, "Hey." He had a strong jawline that was covered in a 5 o'clock shadow that couldn't have come at a better time. This was it. This was how I would determine how deep beauty actually went. Along with the breathtaking mugshot, the post read that Jonathan Cahill, age 37, was convicted for burglary and had recently violated his parole after leaving prison, and was on the run. There were thousands of comments underneath the post, and I knew that these comments held the insight I was looking for. Would people be trying to help find this criminal? Or would they be catcalling this attractive thief through their keyboards? Almost in slow motion, I clicked on See All Comments. The following are actual comments left underneath the police department's post. What's his crime? Breaking hearts or houses? I can tell you right now, if I find him, I'm providing him safe harbor in my bedroom. Daddy, I'm in love with a criminal. I have handcuffs. The keys under the pot, Jonathan. Might leave my doors unlocked and bedroom door open, you bad, bad man. This was exactly what I had feared. Yet another person was being praised for their wrongdoing just because of their hotness. Just as I was about to end my investigation and give up all hope in uplifting beauty standard messaging, I saw that there was an update in Jonathan's case. It turns out that due to his mugshot going viral and being adored by so many people, news of the criminally hot burglar had spread like wildfire. Because of his mouth-watering mugshot, Jonathan was ultimately caught and was put back in UK police custody. My mouth dropped. In an instant, everything had changed. Jonathan's beauty had earned him a viral spot throughout the internet and was indeed eye candy for many thirsty women on social media. But it was the same beauty that had also led him to end up back in jail. In the end, Jonathan's post made by the UK police had over 7,000 comments before it was removed from their Facebook page. At the time of this recording, my investigation is still somewhat open, as we wait to find out what will become of Jonathan Cahill. Will he serve more prison time? Will he become a famous male model? Or will he be one of those people who looks much better in photographs than in person? Overall, beauty is an interesting concept that I am sure I will never fully grasp. There are far too many quotes about beauty that completely contradict one another, such as Marilyn Monroe's famous movie quote, "Don't you know that a man being rich is like a girl being pretty? You wouldn't marry a girl just because she's pretty, but my goodness, doesn't it help?" As for me, I'm going to stick with the quote, "Beauty is in the eye of the beholder," and try to move on with my life, living it as attractively as I can.
So this sexy bastard is just a housebreaker into her?
I tried to find deeper intel into what he was burglarizing.
Mm-hmm.
I assume it was homes, but really the internet is so flooded right now just talking about how hot he is and how many women are in love with him that it didn't even none. I'm talking zero of the articles actually dug deeper into his burglary charges at all.
They didn't care at all what he did. What matters is that he got that face.
Do you want to see a picture of him?
Oh, do I? I hope I can finish the show after I see this.
I'm curious to see how attractive you would rate him on a scale from 1 to 5.
Okay.
Here he is, Trevin. Oh, you don't even need to grab the phone.
Oh, no, I don't. It's a pretty good photo. Yeah, he's got a very hunky look to him. If I were going to be looking at a man, he's probably not my type of a man. He doesn't look that funny to me.
Oh, okay. I was like, what's your type of man?
I like a funny guy.
Okay.
And he looks intimidating.
Yeah, he does.
But no, I can definitely see why a lot of ladies are into that. I would say, as far as your basic level of what you consider attractive, what the world considers, he's definitely there.
Yeah. Do you see what I mean, though? How I described his hair as being flipped over like a graceful ocean wave?
It is. And that's a mugshot because
that's his mugshot.
They even look like they got a little bit of an angle just to help him out, too.
Dude, and the lighting isn't terrible. He looks like a bad guy, but
You mean
not
a bad boy?
Yeah, but not a bad guy to have around.
No.
I wrote that story a little bit differently may have not stumbled upon it as I wrote it out to be, but I just thought it'd be a fun take on it to write it out in that way. But I wanted to do a story about this guy because he's kind of like the Jeremy Meeks of the US. We've actually talked about him in a really early episode of ours, how he's like this really beautiful, beautiful criminal. And he was actually in like gang violence and had weapons. And now he's a famous American model.
Of course.
So this is like the UK's version of him. And when I wrote the story, it was probably, all these articles were only like 6 days old. So when this comes out, it'll be a few weeks older, but I wanted to do something about him, this criminally hot man.
Criminally hot. Well, good for him. If he can get out of jail, he probably has some sort of a future ahead of him.
Oh my God. Something's going to happen for him.
Maybe Dancing with the Stars one day. Who knows? So my story is a story from the news.
Okay.
And this will be one that we'll probably share the talking more for after. But I just want you to know that, you know, we use our cell phones for a lot of things. And they are instruments of good as well as instruments of evil.
Isn't that the truth?
So just like beauty's in the eye of the beholder, just know that this can be a weapon for good or bad, depending on who be holding the phone.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth? Preach.
So here we go. When I talk about friends, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Maybe it's someone that you grew up with and have known since you were children. Maybe it's a coworker that you both share the same disdain for your job with, 5 days a week.
I hate it here.
We should quit.
These would be great examples of friends. Now, what if I got a little more specific and asked you about your online friends? That really narrows it down, doesn't it? Our generation is the first generation to have this specific type of companion. These are people that you share pleasantries with, maybe wish a happy birthday every year, but if you saw them at a department store,
Oh, shit.
you would quickly do your best impression of a mannequin, just to avoid being noticed by them.
Hey, that mannequin looks just like this asshole I follow on Instagram.
There are so many ways in which these electronic buddies have come into our lives. You might have met them once at a high school football game, shared one conversation in the comments section of someone else's post, or maybe you were a creep and decided to add them just because they looked hot in their profile picture.
She looks like a sexy Willem Dafoe.
No matter how these relationships came to be, we have given them the title online friend. They may not know it, and you may not recognize it, but this is a special kind of acquaintance. We've been together for the long haul, through different relationships, questionable fashion phases,
I love this choker.
dark mental points, and extreme high points.
I'm happy now.
They have been there. Like a vengeful spirit that has attached itself to your child. They are always there, even if just faintly in the background.
Why is this old woman in every photo of our daughter?
For me, I have a large collection of these types of people. I've got the one and done Tinder dates that I felt a good friends only connection to. People I've met through different musical ventures and past coworkers. Each one of these people play a very specific role in my online life. For some, I will forever be in their corner, rooting for them to have the happiest and most successful life.
You go, Martha. You have another baby.
And some of them annoy me to no end, allowing me to refuel my negative energy anytime I feel like I'm feeling a little too positive. I am a collector of lives. Whenever I feel the need, I pick one off the shelf, dust them off, admire them, and then put them back away.
Okay, that's enough.
I have truly curated my own list of independent Z-list influencers. And I wouldn't trade them for the world. Unless, of course, they get too political. then I will unfollow their ass so fast. Today's story follows a man who has his own special list of online friends. But he will soon find out that even online friends can have very real consequences. Christopher was a self-proclaimed cool guy, living in Fairfield, Maine. Although he spent his real life committing petty crimes, he was a budding comedian in his online life. No matter what the current event, Christopher had his own comedic input on the subject. He tried hard. He put in the effort and flooded his own timeline with his attempts at brevity. Some posts would get more attention than others, but the numbers never affected Christopher. For Christopher had a special skill that not everyone had: a lack of self-awareness. Yes, Christopher had not even a remnant of shame left in him. 0 reactions to a post 2 days after posting? He just assumed the online algorithm was keeping him down because he was too talented.
Posers.
Even when people used the laughing emoji to react to his post, clearly in a way to laugh at him, Christopher basked in the glory, imagining himself being surrounded by a loving and laughing audience.
Chris, you're so funny.
But as stated before, Christopher was also a petty criminal, the crux of most seriously sinister subjects. For the past few weeks, he had been spending his time in hiding after police had issued a search for him. Christopher had stolen a propane cook stove and cast iron wood stove from a camp in Pierce Pond Township. The time in hiding wasn't all that bad, though. Christopher was able to work on new material and make tons of throwaway tweets of his very funny observational humor.
Police be searching, am I right?
But the time had weighed heavy on him. Solitary was no place for a comedian of Christopher's stature. He needed to get back out and enjoy the world. After all, it had been a few weeks. It was surely safe to return home. Christopher packed up all of his things and returned to his home that he shared with his girlfriend Erica. He could finally breathe again. In his own space, he could feel the creative juices flowing. He even cracked a joke to Erica when he arrived.
Orange, you glad I didn't get arrested?
With this new inspiration, it was time for Christopher to get back at his main job: entertaining the internet. He pulled up his phone and took a Snapchat of his kitchen, explaining that he was finally home after hiding from the police to make new jokes for all of his fans. Not long after his very funny Snapchat post, there was a knock at the door. Being alerted by Erica that it was the police, Christopher dove into one of the kitchen cabinets and hid. After Christopher was hidden, Erica opened the door. "Ma'am, we have reason to believe that your boyfriend may be back at home. Are you alone in the house?" the big burly officer asked. Erica assured them that she was alone. The officer looked at Erica in a very untrusting way and said, "Then I'm sure you won't mind if we take a look around." The officers tiptoed around the house, checking in closets,
Gotcha.
showers,
Maybe you're in here.
and even under beds.
Or you're under here. Damn it.
After quite some time of searching, the police had to call it. There was no sign of Christopher anywhere. Tipping his hat on the way out, the officer bid Erica a good day and left.
Good day, madam.
After the coast was clear, Christopher crawled out of the kitchen cabinet and wiped the nervous sweat from his brow. "That was a close one," Christopher said. "I wonder what made them want to search the house today. I could practically smell the bacon when they were in our house." With his eyes wide, Christopher knew he had just stumbled upon a hilarious joke. "I have to post this," he said. Christopher again made another Snapchat post, this time about how dumb the police were and how they couldn't find him hiding in the kitchen cabinet. After posting the snap, he strutted around the house and reminisced about how funny he was.
Hey babe, remember that time I made a funny Snapchat?
But not long after, there was another knock at the door. Christopher dove back into the cabinet and got himself situated. Again, Erica answered the door, and the same officer stood with an irritated scowl. "Ma'am, I must ask you again. Are you alone?" the officer asked. This time, even Erica gave a bit of an attitude and assured him that she was.
Of course.
Annoyed that he had to repeat the same script as before, the officer once again asked to look around the house. This time, the police went directly to the kitchen and started going through the cabinets. As the cabinet doors opened up, they saw Erica's favorite Pampered Chef pots, along with a pair of human feet.
Aha!
The officer quickly grabbed the feet, pulled Christopher out, and arrested him. In January of 2015, Christopher Wallace stole a couple of grills from a campsite in central Maine. After spending weeks in hiding, he decided to return home and post Snapchats of his return. An online friend of Christopher's alerted the police and let them know of his location. After eluding the police's search the first time, he made posts again, explaining how they could not find him and where he was actually hiding. Again, the online friend reached out to the police and told them of his correct location in the house. The police returned back to the house and found him. The Somerset County Sheriff's Office posted a funny Facebook status of their own, explaining the situation and stating that Christopher got too cocky with his posts. The post ended with a moral for everyone to always remain humble. Christopher was charged with burglary, theft, and violation of conditions of release. Erica was also arrested for hindering apprehension as she continuously lied about Christopher's whereabouts. There are plenty of lessons to be learned from the story of Christopher Wallace and the Snapchat blunder. Maybe it's that you're not always as funny as you think you are online, or that sometimes less information on the internet is actually more safe. But let me also point out this. We don't truly know where we stand in the eyes of our online friends. You may look forward to all of Susie's posts about what she made for dinner, but your face may be exactly what she imagines when she tenderizes her steak with a hammer.
I hate Travis!
Whether it be giving away your hiding spot from the police or sharing a pic of a swastika you drew on a toaster strudel, some information shouldn't be shared on Snapchat because some online friends will choose drama over one extra name in the friends list.
Wow, what a comedic genius he is.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to make the joke though, you know?
Oh my God. It's just so funny. As you're describing this guy, I can think of a handful of my online friends that I don't know very well anymore that are just always trying to get there with the jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like never fully landing. And gosh dang it, Erica. Like this nut is not worth being arrested over.
No, not at all.
Like get it together. Which kitchen cabinet was it? Under the sink? Is that what you said?
I think it was. I'm not entirely sure. They weren't really specific in the thing. It's kind of funny. In the police's status, they said, we went back and looked at the cabinets, and in the cabinets, we saw a pair of feet. Those pair of feet belonged to the man. Like, they were just kind of being silly about it, too.
Yeah. They were trying to build it up for themselves. Oh
Yeah.
my God, dude, just let it go. Make a joke to Erica and you guys like go get some food. You don't have to put everything out there.
Yeah, you can make plenty of jokes online without giving away your hiding spot.
Oh, yeah. And like clearly they came to your house because of the first one.
Yeah.
But he just couldn't let it go, could he?
Yeah, it's just like, oh, they showed up. I wonder what random act would have brought them to check it today, of all days. I better make another post about this.
Oh my God. Did it say where he was in hiding at for like those weeks?
Mm-mm.
Huh. So he stole all these things from a campsite and then he went into hiding for a couple weeks, just somewhere. And then he's like, I'm going to come home and start posting all this stuff.
Yeah, the day I get home.
What was the point of hiding?
I guess he just thought the heat was off.
Oh my God.
But there was already like a Be on the Lookout, and they were already posting things like, people, if you guys see him, let us know. And
Wow.
for a guy who's on the internet, it's like, you probably should have checked the police Facebook statuses to make sure they were done with you.
Right. And which brings me to our connection this week is we have 2 burglars where social media ended up getting them caught.
Yeah. And also, wasn't there something? Oh, I talked about following somebody online just because they're attractive.
Right. And was your guy attractive?
I think he was just kind of a regular looking dude.
Oh, well then screw him.
Yeah, get out of here, regular Joe.
Just
Be
kidding.
more attractive, and I wouldn't even made this story about you. I'd have let you go.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It was interesting to me to think about that, though. We are the first generation to have online friends.
Right.
And we really do have this, like some of us, and there are those people that are just like, oh, that's just my online friend. You wouldn't actually say that's my real friend, even though you do like things they say or follow them.
Right.
You're like a voyeur, just watching them live their lives. And they're not necessarily exciting, or maybe they are, but not everybody is.
Yeah.
But there are those people that I do have some that a friend of mine that I once went to a camp with, and she was a very nice girl, and she's like married, and I think she's a teacher, and she has a kid, and it's just like, I want the best for this person, and I love seeing her live her life, and that just makes me really happy.
Right.
But then I do also have those other ones that every day I'm like, why? I don't want to be friends with this person online, but then I'm going to look like some weirdo who's like, I unfriended you because I'm mad or something. And it's
Right.
like, I don't want that to come back and make me look like an asshole. So
Just what is it on Facebook? You can unfollow
Yeah, you can
instead of
unfollow.
unfriend. But on Instagram, I mean, I think there is a way to do that on Instagram too.
yeah, I think you can make it to where their stuff doesn't come up on
Like
your
you can mute
timeline.
them or
Yeah,
something.
mute. But yeah, it's interesting though, because it's like your own personal little influencer that you're seeing what their life's about, and you're not going to go up and say, hey, did you hear about what Sarah's doing with this thing? It's not like if I asked you, like, oh, what was that thing about Kim K posting the other day about? Like, it's just something
Right.
so small that you're just like, good for you.
Right. Yeah, that is a really weird concept, but it's so normalized with
Oh,
people
yeah.
our age.
I'm sure
Wow.
that I'm a lot of people's online friend.
Yeah,
Hopefully they root for me, but I can't imagine I have too many.
I don't know. I bet there's a lot of Trevin voodoo dolls out there.
Yeah, that's how you know you're making it, though. Guess there's those online frenemies.
Just kidding. I probably have more voodoo dolls made of me than of you. I think you're a pretty pure-souled person.
Thanks. I used to be, I think I really took a lot of those ideas of that character off of me a little bit, because I used to be the guy always posting funny stuff. The only difference was mine was actually good.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't you dare put yourself in his category. I love your funny little posts.
My difference between me and him was I had a lot of shame and self-awareness.
Self-awareness is the
Yeah.
number one. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, wow, what a week. Everyone be careful on social media. Maybe go through and see who your friends are. Maybe, practice some mugshots of yourself just in case. I mean, I think it's all important.
Yeah, I do the casket selfies. You should do the mugshot selfies. And if you are going to break the rules, I'm not saying don't make that post. I mean, you probably shouldn't. But
Right.
if the comedy is gold, at least just be careful who it's going to.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't make it public. Oh, wow, these people. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again to all of our listeners. Wow, we've just been getting so much love and support recently, especially on Instagram, like through our DMs.
Oh, yeah.
I love interacting with our listeners when right after they hear an episode, they will like tell us their thoughts, and it's almost like they'll message along with listening to it, like, oh my God, this, and oh my God, that, like as they're live
It's
listening.
like live tweeting.
Yeah. And I just want everyone out there to know that does that for us, that like you are so appreciated.
Yeah, you keep us going.
Yeah, like you guys are the true motivations. We have some people's, like, shout out to Steve. He's one of our, I think his username is Vitamin Steve on Instagram. He is like one of our biggest supporters. I mean, the guy made me feel good about the depth of my belly button.
And we all need that.
He just sends really interesting facts of things that we discuss and like keeps that conversation going. But we have so many like him. But I just felt like he needed a special shout out because he's been really on point with like sending his follow-up messages.
He's been ride or die for a long time.
Yeah. But just shout out to all of you guys because wow, we really couldn't do this without having people want to listen. So that's great.
Yeah, and I know this is in the credits, but how about we get us an Apple review out there? I haven't asked for one in a while, and I think that would be nice, especially since, my birthday's coming up. And
yes, everybody. So all Trevin wants for his birthday, all his little pure soul wants is an Apple review or a Spotify review.
Oh yeah, the Spotify reviews, those are so easy. If you're listening on Spotify, right there on our actual podcast page, it's a little star, just click it.
Yeah, it's the easiest thing in the world.
It's super easy. I know Apple's not as easy if you're not an Apple user, but we'll take that. And if you haven't hit the follow button on any of your listening devices, it'll make it easier for you to find the next episode.
Right. You don't have to go searching for us. We'll just show up like an annoying notification every single Wednesday for you.
Yeah, and I think we're the best kind of annoying.
I love that. Well, everyone, I hope that you have a great week. We will be celebrating Trevin's birthday this following week. So send him some love, send him some nice messages, give him a review. Why don't you? And just remember that no matter the crime, big or small, in the end, we're all doomed.
Doomed and looking sexy in them mugshots.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to Seriously Sinister.
If you have a true petty crime story to share, please email us at seriouslysinisterpodcast@gmail.com or send us a Facebook message.
If you would like to support our show, please subscribe and leave us a 5-star review.
Also, tell your friends about this podcast.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Seriously Sinister Podcast.
And on Twitter at SeriouslySinPod.
Shout out to Trevin for writing all of the original music you hear and for producing our show. Follow him and his music at Fiesta Maiden on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Facebook.
And credit to Miranda Lucas for our awesome logo. You can find her on Instagram at MirandaLucas26.
All stories are written by myself and Trevin, and all stories are based on actual, true petty crimes.